Y'all, this video was supposed to go up ever since like the fucking 2nd of February. Bitch, it's going on 4 weeks. It's about to be the 1st of March. Y'all, anyway. Hello, my little Jimbos, and I apologize if you hear this loud-ass fan in the background, but it just is what it is. Hazbin Hotel officially released January 18th and concluded February 1st. Right at the fucking beginning of Black History Month. That's gotta be anti-black.
Nigga! That's gotta be racist.
I'm just joking. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Anywho, Hazbin Hotel has taken up a storm, firstly from its initial pilot release all the way back in October of 2019, and can you fucking believe it? The first season concluded now in 2024, and there is so much to discuss, and I want to get into it right now. So if you've still got to finish the episodes or what have you, in the kindest way possible, go on and handle your business, okay? Because we can't be waiting all day for you to finally sit down and say, you know what, I think I'll actually finish Hazbin Hotel. We don't have time to wait on you, okay? In the kindest way possible. Like, we have things that we're trying to discuss, and you're taking up time in the kindest way possible. Disclaimer aside, let's get into it. Plus, enjoy my drawing of an exterminator OC in the background. Link to the TikTok I was inspired by at the end of the video. Plus, other useful information like where to watch Hazbin Hotel for the people who will inevitably ask, where can I watch Hazbin Hotel? I love you though, but you know. So anyway, let's go. So if you're new around here, you probably wouldn't know, but I am a certified hater. Not because I actually hate the thing in question. Sometimes I just tend to be like that. If I like something, I want to pick it apart and put it back together. And when I pick it apart, I can't help but want to honestly overanalyze and over criticize whatever it was that I picked apart. I don't know. I guess it's like my love language when it comes down to things that I like. Or things that I like but think could be better. And then, of course, things that I hate. But if I hated something, trust me, you would know. In the case of Hazbin Hotel, in my personal opinion, and it's just my opinion, I feel like having finished the whole series so far, the show is okay. Just okay. Now, some people was absolutely blown away, I'm sure. Okay, and don't get me wrong. I feel at least like I can totally understand why. At the end of the day, I don't really think any negative opinion can really take away from the win that indie animation has been having. Like, you know, this year, last year. I mean, this year basically just started, but you know, in the last few years or so, I mean, you have Glitch producing stuff like Murder Drones and Digital Circus. You have obviously Hazbin Hotel. You have Lackadaisy. You have a fucking Hell of a Boss, and so many more animations or otherwise indie projects that I either am not aware of or didn't think to mention. Like, so many indie projects. And with Hazbin Hotel being able to be successful in the way that it's been thus far, whether anybody wants to acknowledge it or not, it is undoubtedly, it is without a doubt a win. Hands down, it is a win. There is absolutely no taking that away from it. It's a win, right? So I totally understand people being blown away simply because of what Hazbin Hotel has been able to do. And again, I get that. But I feel like it's important to actually judge the show for what it is and not just for what it accomplished. And so I feel like it was just it was okay. It was okay. I liked it, don't get me wrong, but it was also just kind of okay. Pretty much for the very reasons that a lot of other people have mentioned, like, all across the web. So, when I was first watching the series, and I think this is like episode 2, episode 3, by this point, I'm hearing people starting to say things like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. The pacing is really fucking bad in this show. And, at first I was kind of in denial, if I'm being honest. I was kind of just like, I don't know. I don't really think I see it so far. Like, I don't know if I've noticed anything that's, anything that's like that bad. But then Serpentius had a little so-called arc that started and concluded in the time span of like 1 or 2 episodes. And honestly, I feel like it was probably 1 episode, but I'm just gonna say like 1 or 2 episodes. And then, the whole thing with Carmilla happened. Is it Camilla or Carmilla? Carmilla. And yeah, before I jump ahead to that, pacing. I'm starting to hear people say that, and I was pretty much in denial for a little bit, but by the time I have now since finished the series, I'm not going to lie. I firmly agree with that very thing there. That biggest complaint, I wholeheartedly, hands down, I'm not a Christian, but hand on the Bible, agree that, oh my gosh, the pacing is so fucking bad. Oh, the pacing is so bad. Like, oh, so the Serpentius spy plot, that suffered so bad from pacing. The whole thing with Carmilla killing an angel, that also suffered from the pacing. Okay, Vaggie being revealed as an angel, oh my fucking gosh, I will come back to this. That, suffer from the pacing. Charlie's back and forth with Heaven, just the whole thing with Heaven altogether, like Charlie and Adam and Lute and them and the whole court of angels, and just the whole thing with Heaven, just it's the twistedness of it, the corruption of it, the way all of that was handled, all of it suffered so fucking bad from the pacing. Oh my goodness. Husk being revealed as an overlord, I was kind of able to overlook us being told, like, in a few scenes that he was an overlord, although I guess I will say very quickly that honestly that could have been better paced too. In fact, I would say real quick, it would have just been better to like have like an episode or 2, preferably at least 2, dedicated to fleshing out Husk's like backstory. It doesn't necessarily have to be his whole backstory, and I really wouldn't expect it to be, but I would have liked it better, I think, if we learned that he was an overlord who ended up losing his soul, and by that extent the souls he collected to Alistair. I would have appreciated that so much more if we were able to actually see that and experience that with Husk, as the viewers, instead of taking the easy way out in the nicest way possible. As a writer, but also as a consumer, I think you don't necessarily need to be a writer to kind of get that. But as writers, one of the things we're supposed to really prioritize when it comes down to explaining things in our story is, if possible, we are expected to show rather than tell. And that is precisely because showing is often more impactful than telling. There are times where telling something is, I guess you could argue, preferable. There are times where telling instead of showing can actually do a little more for your narrative. But generally speaking, the only times where you might want to tell rather than show is when you want to describe something vague, when you want to describe a plot point that is supposed to be vague, when you want to describe something that's supposed to be full of mystery, like something that isn't necessarily supposed to be taken at face value, something that has a little more nuance to it than what the audience is being told. For example, very quickly, The whole thing with people constantly telling Alistair's backstory, from Vaggie telling his backstory in the pilot, and then Mimsy telling Alistair's backstory in, the first season. That could have been very interesting, I think. And I think actually, I would say that that's actually pretty interesting. I like that they would often tell Alistair's backstory and that we don't often get to see it, because of the fact that we still have no idea whether or not everything they're saying is per se true. We don't know how accurate or precise it is. For all we know, they are telling the story of Alistair and his arrival from their perspective, which means that the way that they're explaining the story is very biased. We have yet to see how much of their retelling of Alistair's backstory is the truth, or what they perceived to be the truth from their perspective. Now, I could be reading into it, because I could be reading into it, but I like to give Viv the benefit of a doubt in that case, and I would just like to think that the purpose for telling Alistair's backstory in that instance is to maintain that element of intrigue. At the end of the day, we can't really trust their stories for real. These are both people who have their own interpretations of Alistair. The only person who could maybe give us a good idea as to what his backstory actually is probably Alistair himself. And even then, there is always the chance that Alistair, being a bit of a trickster, probably wouldn't be that transparent about his backstory anyway. And so, to get back on topic, Husk has a backstory that I think would have been better if it were shown and not told. So I don't think I really liked that decision in the series, but it wasn't as bad as the others. And I do think the reason that we weren't shown is because of the pacing, because that's what we were talking about, the pacing. And so, honestly, I feel like I could probably list a few more things that I feel like really suffered because of the pacing, especially because, like, one of the second overarching issues that I've noticed, I mean, I feel like other people noticed this as well and have commented on it too, but I would say that the next biggest issue besides the pacing is definitely the length of the series. To be as direct as possible, Viv needed so many more episodes in order to tell the kind of story she was trying to tell. Sorry if I sound so discombobulated. This video is barely scripted, but she needed so much more than just 8 episodes. Like, that's too little episodes to give this huge cast of characters a decent amount. You don't have to go above and beyond, but, like, in order to give each of these characters a decent amount of character growth, development, arc development, backstory development, to build up enough, I guess I'll say enough of a connection between one character and the next in order to create a dynamic between individual characters, and then the dynamic of all the characters all together. Like, that is stuff that takes time. It takes time. And the issue, which is a combination of the pacing as well as the small amount of episodes that the season was given, a result of that combination, I feel like, is that I guess Viv just wouldn't really be able to make that happen. Like, you're not going to be able to tell that kind of story, or to tell the stories of the characters in the way that they should be told, because you don't have enough time to do it. Or at least, this is so debated. Half the people are saying, oh no, she definitely knew that she was going to get a second season, so I don't know why it was rushed. And then I feel like other people are saying, no, like, she didn't know that she was getting another season, and that's why it's so rushed. I don't know who to believe. I might make a follow-up, but just going off of what I know or what I think I know now, it's just like, just the pacing, the lack of episodes in the series, all of it all together, I just feel like is making it where it's so hard to really tell the story that she wants to tell, or at least the story that I think she wants to tell, because you need so much more time to do it. And for whatever reason, she either didn't have the time or she did not utilize the time. So there were too many plot points that I think she wanted to just kind of take care of in the span of 8 episodes when you have like 8 characters. I'm just saying that number off the top of my head. She has so many more characters. Like, you got Charlie, Vaggie, Husk, Nifty, Alistair, fucking Serpentious. You got Cherry Bomb at some point in the series as well. Valentino, the fucking Vox, the fucking Velvet. Like, this is already like 10 characters. Too many characters. Too, oh gosh. So I guess if I had to come up with a third issue, low key, this series suffers from a terrible case of too many chefs in the kitchen. Too many chefs in the kitchen syndrome. There are too many characters, all in a span of 1 season, all attempting to get some kind of character growth, development, a story arc. Too much. This first season, I think, really should have focused on really just the group we had from the pilot. And honestly, you know what, this is my video. I'm just gonna say what I want to say in the kindest way possible. I feel like the first season should really just have been mostly Vaggie, Charlie, Angel, maybe Alistair here and there. And I would have preferred the first season concluding not with a literal fucking war arc. I can't even call it an arc, because it really, to me at least, it really didn't feel like much of an arc. But just I would have preferred the first season to focus so much more on Vaggie, Angel, Charlie, and then Alistair, like, on and off, preferably in a case where Alistair really has yet to officially, quote unquote officially, make home at the hotel. And that way you could take your time developing Charlie, Angel, Vaggie, to an extent Alistair, but that would probably be more so building intrigue for his story later on. But at least Vaggie, Angel, Charlie, both as individuals and then as characters who have an established dynamic with each other. Basically, it would have been better, I think, if all of these characters had been slowly added in pairs or what have you to the cast, instead of just dumping them all within the first 2 episodes. And then just basically so many interesting ideas, so many interesting characters, so many interesting environments, so many interesting things about this Helliverse that Viv has created. There's so many interesting things about it to explore, but I just feel like it wasn't. There were so many interesting things about it, but I guess if I had to say a conclusive statement, hopefully in the next season, which I think has actually already been written, I think, so I'm a little concerned about what that would mean. But nevertheless, I hope that in season 2, Viv and her team actually took advantage of being able to take their time, you know, with crafting these stories and these important plot points. And so on the note of plot points, since this video is already kind of getting long, and I don't want it to be any longer than I don't want it to be any longer than maybe 24 minutes. So I guess I'll just leave whatever other lingering thoughts I have for like another video or something. I don't know, or Tumblr post, something. Real quick, I think that there were definitely a few plot points that I felt like were just too major to just reveal in the way that it was. In no particular order, Vaggie's plot point. Oh my gosh, when I say that shit made the little writer in me want to shoot herself in the fucking head. Heavens, bro. What? Oh my, bro. When I say I was so pissed when she just dropped the ball. Vaggie is an angel. And then we learned that Vaggie is a fucking angel. Through a be nice, Latrina, be nice. We learned that Vaggie is an angel through some weird, like, magical ball thing, which is basically like a magical eye in the sky kind of thing that the angels can view. I'm not sure if demons can view it as well, but we see them using it in the angelic court, or whatever you would call it, to basically watch over Angel and the rest of the cast and all this and that. And it is through this that Adam takes control of it somehow and is able to very literally show. But this felt like a showing in a telling kind of way. But basically, it was a very cheap, easy way to show Charlie, look, Vaggie is an angel, and we see her as an angel, and I'm kind of just like, I don't like that. I mean, they gave us a cute little, well, I won't say cute, but they gave us a little flashback, if you will, of Vaggie as an angel and showing mercy to the demon child and all that good stuff. But I hated that so much. I feel like that was such a cheap way to drop such a big plot point. Like, when I saw that shit, I was like, oh my gosh, Viv, you dropped the fucking ball. You dropped the ball on that. That should have been a good portion. I won't even say a good portion of season 1. Honestly, that angel reveal should have been pushed off as long as it could get, I think. That should have been pushed off so much more than it was. Second, I think I really hate Charlie having to be told in such a blatant way, oh, your girlfriend is an angel. I would have much preferred it if Charlie learned that she was an angel through investigative skills, through probably inevitably having to be able to, like, I guess I'll say, get a gauge on other people, to be able to read other people, to read signs, and to read behaviors. I feel like this is something Charlie would have to develop as a skill, if not already have. And I feel like there's no reason that she should not have been able to notice that behavior in Vaggie. And just that should have been its own arc, is what I'm trying to say. That should have been an arc that should have lasted at least a good, like, 3-4 episodes at least. And it should have been revealed in bits and pieces, and then ultimately revealed or confirmed, I feel like, in, like, season 3, okay? Or at the very end of season 2, if you insist that we know as soon as possible. So that was definitely one thing. Without a doubt, the whole Carmilla killing the angels and revealing that angels can be killed, like, I didn't even realize, I think, that people were under the impression in this universe that angels couldn't be killed. I could be wrong, I need to rewatch it, but was that even established, or did that just kind of come out of Carmilla's ass? And then on top of everything, absolutely, we should not have known who killed the angel or how until the end of season 1. That should have been dragged the fuck out, because that was evidently a major plot point, because that was explaining how they could fight angels in the future. without a doubt, the whole war arc should not have happened in the first season. You know, usually I'm a kind of person who, when I'm watching an action-oriented show, normally I fucking hate when we get to the war arc, because usually the war arc lasts for like way too fucking long. This is the first time I've ever watched something with a war arc, and I was just like, your war arc should have been longer. This is the first time I've ever experienced that. Like, what? Because I normally fucking hate war arcs. They're usually way too long. This is the first war arc I've ever watched that was actually too short and did not take advantage of its time, did not take advantage of preferably the suspense within the audience. Hopefully there was any suspense there at all. There was no build-up, there was no anticipation, there was no, oh shit, things are starting to hit the fan, it's getting tense, because like, you know, it's coming, or at least I didn't feel that. And I don't feel like I'm alone in that. I feel like there are other people who can at least understand what I mean when I say this. Like, this is, oh gosh, that war arc happened way too fucking fast. Way too fast. It really wasn't even an arc. Also, you know, I guess just a few things to mention before I dip, because it's getting long, it's pushing 30 minutes, and I'm not trying to let y'all sit through all that. But, you know, as I recall, Hazbin was supposedly like a female-led show, which I still think is fucking ridiculous, but supposedly that's what it is. And yet I still think that the female characters of the show are very underutilized. Like, Charlie is like, I won't sit here and pretend like she has no personality, but I feel like if I wanted to sum up her personality, it's basically naive for the most part. I kind of wish we got to see more of the different sides of Charlie. We only got bits and pieces of him here and there. Like, I would love to explore things like what makes Charlie pissed, like what pisses her off, like what gets under her skin, what puts her off. I would like to get to know that. But out of all the female characters, unsurprisingly, given that she's like the lead, she definitely has the most development, because we know a decent-ish amount about her, but we know still almost nothing about Vaggie and Nifty. And oh heavens, especially Nifty. Like, bro, Nifty didn't actually sing until the last fucking episode of this series. And how is it that a character like Serpentius, who was very quickly introduced and then very quickly killed off by the end, how is it that he got a whole song in like 2-3 episodes of development, but Nifty got maybe like 1 episode of development? And I'm not even sure if I want to say that for real. Like, Nifty is kind of Vaggie and Nifty need some more development. Also, I think it is so funny how as soon as Alistair realized that he was getting mollywopped by Adam, as soon as he realized, like, oh, I'm not going to be able to just push my way through this fight like usual, please, it's the way that man really just dipped. Like, he made, in that moment, I was like, you know what he made me think of? He made me think of Ava from Abbott Elementary. He makes me think of this one line she said that I love so much, which was, the key to never getting your ass beat is knowing who can beat your ass. And so he dipped as soon as he realized, like, oh, he's about to whoop my ass. As soon as Alistair realized that, he literally dipped. And then he had the audacity to come back like shit was all good after everyone was done fighting to sing that little song. Did y'all see Hus? Did y'all see the way Hus looked at him when he came back? Like, he really looked at him like, and where the fuck were you when we were all getting mollywopped in the parking lot of this hotel? Like, that shit was so funny though. But okay, this shit has officially hit 30-minute marks. I love you. You guys are so great. Let me know what you guys think about this, because I know I'm not the only person like feeling the way that I feel. So let me know what you think about it. Leave any theories, comments, potential rewrites, because heaven knows, and I kind of say possible, that there's a lot of things that could have been rewritten. Like any rewrites at all, no matter how detailed or undetailed. If you would like to, please leave it in the comments and we can discuss it below, because I love discussion. That's what this channel is here for. Let me know what you guys think. I don't know. Like, share, subscribe, and all of you guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful night.